This is a podcast of 98FM's Dublin Talks. Remember, catch the show live Monday to Friday at 10 a.m.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
98FM.
I'm Adrian Kennedy, and that man there is Jeremy Dixon.
Now, there was consternation in the news a couple of weeks ago about this, and a lot of people were getting very upset about it, and it's back in the news today. A couple of weeks ago, Princess Charlotte, who was, of course, Will and Kate's firstborn.
Correct.
Beautiful little girl.
No, secondborn. Secondborn.
Who was the firstborn?
The little young fella.
Whoever remembers him.
He's the main man. He's going to be the king. She's not going to be anything.
Oh, is she not? Is she not heir to...
Nah, not really, no.
Okay, it's very sexist. Anyway, Prince Harry and Kate's second-born...
It's not Prince Harry either. What is wrong with you?
Who is it?
William.
I don't know the royal family.
William and Kate.
And what's their first baby's name?
His name is...
What's his name?
What's
What's
the young fella's name? Oh, George. Yeah, George.
George. Yeah. That's his name. So their two kids are called George and Charlotte. Well, a couple of weeks ago, this story appeared in the news because Charlotte was pictured with her mother wearing hand-me-down shoes. She was wearing a pair of shoes that her older brother once wore, and they were handed down to her. And people were commenting at the time saying, they're the royal family, they've a lot of money, why are they wearing hand-me-down clothes? And people were sort of looking down their nose on it. Well, it's appeared back in the news today in the Telegraph, and wait till you get a load of this, because if you are from a certain generation like I am and Adrian is, hand-me-down clothes they were the thing. That's the way things were done back then.
I was very lucky because I'm the eldest in our family, yeah?
So you got them fresh?
Yeah, my brother always got the hand-me-downs. So it was one of the advantages to being the eldest.
Yeah, I mean, I got hand-me-downs, but you got hand-me-downs from cousins and stuff like that, didn't you? And
well, no, because I was the eldest cousin as well, you see.
A lot of you won't be able to relate to this because in recent years this has become a thing of the past. Well, according to this story today, 2/3 of parents of young children would reject hand-me-down clothes. They said it's not something they would do. They prefer to buy the clothes and pick them themselves new off the shelves. What's happened to the world?
Well, you've a young fella. Has he got any hand-me-down clothes?
No, I'm probably one of those 2/3 who
Why
wouldn't.
has he not got any? Have you even been ever offered any?
Yeah, we have.
And you've said no?
Yeah, we've declined the offer.
Are you loaded?
No, we're not loaded.
So why would you not accept them? And I guarantee you've been offered clothes that are hardly worn.
Yeah, we have.
And you just said no. And your young fella will know the difference how?
No, he won't.
He won't, no.
No, and I'm not going to explain why we turned them down because it'll make media to be an asshole. So
why did you turn them down? Come on, no, seriously.
No, because
it's an honest question.
No, because it's always...
And the reason I asked this question is I actually have about 5 or 6 hand-me-down shirts now, my age as an adult, yeah, from a friend of mine who lost a load of weight and the shirts didn't fit him anymore and they were hardly worn, and I happily accepted them.
They're fat man shirts, are they?
Whatever you want to call them.
And you're wearing them. You're wearing fat man shirts.
Whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
But I had no problem accepting these shirts because they were all brand new, yeah? They'd only been worn once or twice. Why would you not accept clothes for your young fella?
You know what, I hear you, and I've decided I'm not going to be controversial about it, so I'm going to leave it to the listener.
No, but I'm asking you a question. Why?
Because
I
believe there's a stigma attached to hand-me-down clothes, and it was probably acceptable in the 80s. It was acceptable at the time.
Yeah.
Okay? But nowadays...
But who knows? Okay, this shirt I'm wearing, yeah? Hang on for 1 second. This shirt that I'm wearing today, is this a hand-me-down shirt or not?
I don't know. How would you know?
That's exactly my point.
But you know.
I know, yeah. But you don't. That's the point I'm trying to make. I have about 6 shirts in my wardrobe that were hand-me-down shirts from a friend of mine.
Okay, because luckily I'm in a position, and thank God, touch wood, fingers crossed and all that. Lucky, and I know there's some people that aren't in this position, luckily enough I'm in a position where I don't have to go to charity shops for clothes for my kids.
What are you getting at?
It's more or less the same.
Sorry, you obviously have family or friends who have children slightly older than your young fella.
I'm always getting text messages from relations and family and friends saying, John is after growing out of his hoodies. I've 10 lovely hoodies here that we bought in
worn.
Hardly worn. Do you want them for your young fella? And I always say no.
See, I just don't get that.
Well, let's do a poll on this. If you are a parent of, we're not talking about a teenage child,
No,
because
no.
a teenager ain't going to
Under
accept
10.
Under 10. If you are the parent of a preteen child, okay, this is the question we're going to ask. Would you accept hand-me-down clothes? Okay, if you would, text yes to 0877 98 98 98. If you wouldn't, text no, but give a reason. There's no point in just saying no, I wouldn't accept them.
Okay,
Why
so
wouldn't you accept them?
We're talking about for children under 10, would you accept hand-me-down clothes for your child?
You see, the way I see it...
Yeah, go on, I'm dying to hear this.
Here's the way I see it. I hate charity. I hate accepting charity. Luckily, I'm not in the position. It is charity.
It's not charity.
It is
somebody
charity.
actually being nice to you because they're trying to get rid of the clothes.
It's probably only a step away of going to your neighbour's skip and taking something off the skip.
Would you give over?
Well, it's similar to that.
Okay, so hang on. This friend of mine that I'm talking about, yeah, was going to either A, give the clothes to me because he knew they'd fit me, the shirts, yeah, or B, fling them in the bin. These were hardly worn shirts. Or in fact, he was probably going to give them to a charity shop, actually. And I took the shirts gladly. And you don't know whether this shirt I'm wearing today is one of those hand-me-down shirts or not.
I just don't want to be that person.
To be what person?
The skip dweller. The person who lives around skips, taking things off skips and bringing them home. I don't think, and I think if you're all going to be honest with you, and some of you are going to think I'm an a-hole, but I think the vast majority of you, if you're honest with yourself, you would not take hand-me-down clothes. It was acceptable in the 80s.
But I still think it's acceptable now.
It was acceptable in the 80s.
Yeah, I know it was acceptable at the time, but it is also acceptable now.
It's not, though. It's frowned upon now.
No, it's not.
There's a social stigma attached to taking second-hand clothes.
I want you to text yes or no.
And as I said, and I want to say this again.
Let me just mention the text number. Just shut up there for a second. I want you to text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. Would you, have you, or will you accept hand-me-down clothes for, we're going to say for children under 10. Okay? Text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. Would you, or will you, or did you accept hand-me-down clothes for children under 10? I'd love to hear from you. Text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98.
My pride wouldn't allow that. It just when we were at a car boot sale there on Saturday.
Yeah.
Up in Wesley School, they do it regularly. And we went along to have a look, and there was loads of people were selling second-hand children's clothes out of the boot of their car.
Yep.
And some of the stuff was lovely, but no. I want to buy something off the... And again, I want to preface this by saying, thankfully, touch wood, I'm in a position where I don't have to do that. But if I did...
But okay, let's look at your young fella. Yeah, he's 2.5 or whatever he is.
It's pride. It's pride.
He's going to grow out of any clothes he gets in 3 or 4 months. You'd rather spend a fortune buying clothes rather than give him whatever it is, a pair of trousers that he'll only get 6 months out of anyway. He won't know the difference. He's hardly going to know he got it off his cousin or whatever. I agree with you.
I grew up in hand-me-downs, but I don't want my child growing up in hand-me-downs.
Because the difference is what? Explain this to me.
I can't explain it.
Do you know if this is a hand-me-down shirt or not?
Maybe the listeners can explain, because I can't explain it.
Jody, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Jody.
Hello, how are you?
Jody, why wouldn't you accept hand-me-down clothes?
I don't really know. I wouldn't. I would hand-me-down. I would kind of take clothes from the eldest kids and put them on the younger kids, but I wouldn't take clothes from someone else's kids and put them on my kids.
So if you've like nephews or nieces or whatever, or cousins who are slightly older than your kids, may have worn the clothes for a couple of months, barely worn clothes, you wouldn't take them?
No.
Why? I need to understand why.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. As I said, like, I could take clothes from the eldest kids to give to the younger kids, but I don't know what it is. Why I wouldn't? I don't know.
Would you take something yourself?
No. Oh God, no.
No, that's disgusting. The thoughts of that now is...
God, no.
Yeah.
So hang on. I mentioned this friend of mine.
I would from my brother, maybe from one of my brothers. But
okay, but this friend of mine lost a lot of weight, and all of his shirts didn't fit him. He had 6 shirts that were practically brand new, worn only a couple of times. I took them. But
I understand that, and I understand they're nearly new, and you still go and get them dry cleaned and whatever, but that thought would still be in my head of him sweating in them shorts.
Yeah.
Seriously? Sorry, have you never heard of a washing machine?
Yeah, but you still have that thought in the back of your head that he wore that short, he sweated in that short, and he...
There are certain people, Jody, that, and each to their own, there are certain people who go to these thrift shops and these charity shops and they buy second-hand things, but that's not for everybody, Adrian, and people shouldn't be judged if they don't want to put their kids in hand-me-down clothes.
No, hang on, I've just heard the worst excuse ever.
My child is not a charity case, and neither am I a charity case.
There's nothing to do with charity.
Yeah, it is.
Hang on, it'd be different if somebody knocked on your door and said, would you like these shirts, Mr. Dixon? Poor you. You're talking about family members offering them to you.
It's still a charity case.
Well, Jody, you're talking about sweating in clothes and all that, yeah? Reason why I would not accept clothes from somebody? No. Kids can easily contact bacteria from hand-me-down clothes. Seriously. These people, have you never heard of a washing machine?
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying.
That's ridiculous.
I know most people that would get hand-me-down clothes or bring them straight to a cleaners or even wash them themselves. I understand that. It's just that thought that is still in your head. That it's just that thought. You know it's ridiculous. You know that they're clean, but it's just that thought of someone else haven't had them on them.
No, I don't think even that is an issue, Jody. The whole thing that someone else has worn, but as well, it's a pride thing. It really is that you're begging.
It's not. Then it's not a pride thing. It's a snobbish thing.
Yeah, it's probably a snobbish thing.
It is absolutely.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, you're right. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's not dress it.
It's a snobbish thing.
Well, I'm hardly a snob. I'm sitting there having my lunch on a building site. Like, I'm far from being a snob, but I understand where Jeremy's coming from. You like to buy your kids their clothes. That's just the way most people are. Well, some people are.
All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797 981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. So, let me go to Mary. You're on 98 FM. How are you, Mary?
Good, thanks, and you?
Mary, we were talking about people accepting hand-me-down clothes for their kids, and we're talking about for under 10s.
Well, this story all came out of Princess Charlotte, who was wearing basically... Sorry, I thought she was wearing George's shoes. She was actually wearing Prince Harry's shoes. She was wearing a pair of shoes that are like 30... That
her uncle wore?
That are 30 years old, yeah.
Oh.
That had been kept in the family. And it opened up the whole debate, Mary, about hand-me-down clothes. And this snobbish, and it is a snobbery thing. And I have my head so far up my arse sometimes, it's ridiculous.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm glad to hear you admitting that.
Would you accept stuff from a charity shop?
We're not. No, sorry, lads. We're not talking about a charity.
The same thing.
It's
That's
not.
The same thing.
It's not. There's a complete difference between getting something in a charity shop and getting something off your brother.
It's not.
From his kids.
You're still charity.
No. It's not the same thing. Sorry. No. Anyway, go on, Mary.
No, I wouldn't even step inside the door of a charity shop, first of all. And second of all, not.
Hey, what's wrong with the charity shop?
No, I wouldn't. No, it's somebody else's stuff. No.
And? Somebody else's stuff that they don't want anymore.
I can well afford to buy brand new stuff, so...
Yeah, why are you judging the woman because she doesn't want charity?
Do you not like to get a bargain?
I do when it's brand new.
You see, I just don't get this. I really don't. And
I'm on my first baby, and all those clothes are my husband's brought them to a charity shop. I won't even use them on any other children I have.
So you wouldn't even keep some of your child's clothes that may have been worn twice for another child?
No, we're the same. Sent them off to a charity shop, let someone else take them.
How patronising then, if you wouldn't even enter the door of a charity shop. How patronising are both of you?
Well, actually. Mary, over to you.
Yep. I wouldn't. Hang on, you've both just said I wouldn't step foot inside the door of a charity shop.
Don't knock Mary because she is. I presume, Mary, you work hard. Your husband works hard. You have the money.
I don't personally work, but my husband has a very good job, so we can afford to buy our clothes. And I'm not ashamed that I have the money to buy everything brand new, and I don't need to go to a charity shop.
And what do you think of people who do go to charity shops? I mean, I'm just after looking at a text message coming in here. Charity shops are for peasants.
Well, Pennies is as cheap as a charity shop, and it's brand new.
Lads, we ran a Dublin Talks text poll where we asked the question, would you or do you accept hand-me-downs from a family for your kids? 61% of people said yes.
I don't believe that.
61% said yes.
No, they're lying.
There's the graph on the screen there, look.
Yeah, I can see the graph, but the graph is BS.
It's not.
No, it is.
61% have said they would. But
I think they would accept them, but rather to use them after that. They accept them out of politeness. I don't think they actually use them then once they do accept them.
And you're saying you'd never step foot inside a charity shop. You'd feel, what would you feel, dirty getting something?
I know, I've never been in. I get my husband to bring the clothes to donate. I don't even step inside the door to bring down the clothes. I don't know.
No, Mary, you are right. There is a stigma, whether we like it or not.
You get over yourself.
No, there is, Adrian.
Who do you think you are talking down to people like that?
Nobody's talking
who actually
down.
go into charity shops.
We're not
sorry, you both are.
Choice.
You are both talking down your
choice.
noses to people who are unfortunate enough to shop in charity shops. How dare you? Both of you.
Well, Mary.
It's everyone's personal choice. I don't think that people should think I'm snobby because we've done well in life and we're able to afford not to go to charity shops. It's not my fault that people haven't done well in life and have to go to a charity shop.
Whew, I mean, Adrian is speechless here, Mary. Go on, Adrian. Yeah.
I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. How pompous is that sort of attitude? That does my head in. So you would obviously think there's something odd about me that I accepted 6 shirts from a friend of mine, would you, Mary?
No, I wouldn't judge you for it. That's your choice.
No, but you are judging people.
I'm not judging them. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it myself.
So if say, have you a sister? Or
I have 2 brothers.
You have 2 brothers. Have you any really close female friends?
I do, yeah.
And if one of them bought a shirt or a blouse or whatever, a lovely dress, and they brought it home and they didn't like it, would you take it off her?
No, I tell her to return it to the shop.
But you won't go into the charity shop yourself because you wouldn't be seen dead in one.
No.
Adrian, why don't you tell her how you really feel? Mary, you can't see Adrian's face here at the moment, but there's literally steam coming out of his ears. Actually, tell her how you feel.
Get off the fence.
I've
already told her.
You're
the most disgusting, most pompous attitude from both of you. You're the same, by the way, that I've ever heard. Honestly.
Sorry, I buy my toiletries.
Life is so good for me. I don't have to go to a charity shop.
No, sorry, I buy my toiletries. I buy my toiletries up on Thomas Street, Adrian, in the markets.
No, you don't. Don't be telling me.
Yes, I do.
You buy washing powder.
We shouldn't be judging people for going to charity shops. You're judging us for not going to charity shops.
No, it's not. It's the snobbish attitude is what I'm judging. Patricia, you're on.
Snobbery,
Patricia.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Patricia. How are you? What do you want to say? Good, thank you.
Well, I want to say that actually I'm buying stuff from the charity shop since I remember, and also my mom was buying charity stuff from charity shops as well since I was like a child. I also, I can afford to buy clothes from normal shops. That's no problem at all. But I'm also going to the shops to see if there's anything like a treasure, and I can buy something off the for just few euros. So I don't think it's disgusting or buying like that.
So you can afford not to buy in charity shops, but sometimes you go in and you never know what you might pick up.
Exactly, yeah. But sometimes, see, I have a daughter. She's 12 years old, and I also have a son. He's 14 months. So when I was pregnant with the first child, to look for a small baby's clothes because I knew they're gonna, the children are growing fast, so he or she is gonna have it. For just a month or even 2 weeks.
In fact, that was exactly what I was about to say to you, Jeremy. With your young fella, yeah. Chances are, if you buy him some item of clothing, a pair of trousers or whatever, he's not going to be wearing it for more than 12 weeks.
I agree with you
because he grows so fast.
Adrian, let's call a spade here. Your kids, because I was around when your kids were small. They were dressed in the best of clothes and they didn't wear hand-me-downs.
Oh, they actually did, believe it or not.
Mary, how do you react to...
Sorry, they actually did from older...
Mary...
How would you know?
Because I was around. Mary, there's a lot of begrudges texting in there. How would you react to this text message? Now, these people generally don't want to go on to talk. They're spineless. But this person says, so Mary's husband has done well, so she's a rich, stuck-up housewife. How do you react to that, Mary?
I'm not a rich, stuck-up housewife. My family actually... is a very well-to-do family, and then I just happened to marry my husband as well. I had a very good job when I met my husband. I just decided to be a stay-at-home mother because we could afford for me to stay at home, not stuck it up at all. My friends wouldn't have done anywhere as well as we would have done, and I don't judge them for that. Everyone is different in life.
So you've married into, well, you came from money and you've married into money, and you make no apologies for it. Nor should you. No. You have a rich husband. So what? Why should you feel guilty? Because
I'm not asking her to apologise for that. I'm asking her to apologise for her pompous attitude.
Would you stop being a snowflake?
It's not pompous attitude. I just don't need to go to charity shops.
She doesn't need to go to a charity shop because she's rich, and you're begrudging.
Would you listen to yourself? How disgusting is your attitude? You surprise me every day, and today you've stooped lower than you've ever stooped.
I'm not saying
I
that.
don't have to go to a
No,
charity
I said
shop.
Mary doesn't. Mary is. I'm not saying me.
You said the same thing.
But I don't have to go to a charity shop. Thanks be to God. And I said that at the start. Touch wood. Hopefully I never fall on bad times. And if I do fall on bad times, I will go to a charity shop.
But what you're saying is that the only people who go into charity shops are people who are desperate. But that's actually not true.
Well, Mary, do you believe that's true?
You just heard from a lady there a second ago who goes into them regularly. Doesn't need to, but she does.
I wasn't the one that texted in saying that charity shops are for paupers.
Craig,
Wasn't
you're
me
on
that said
98 FM. How are you, Craig?
How you doing? I'm absolutely fuming sitting there, like.
I am myself, I have to be honest with you. I find both their attitudes just horrific.
It's not something. The charity shop isn't something like you have to look down upon. It's like that money goes towards charities.
Yes.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah. So you're actually doing it.
She's just a stuck-up cow.
Well, Mary.
I'm not saying it's anything to look down on. I just don't choose to go to it.
Yeah, looking down on people. You're looking down your nose because you think you're better than the bleeding world, like.
I'm not looking down my nose. I just don't want to.
Yeah, you think you're better than the rest of the fucking world, you do.
I mind the language there, Craig.
I donate money. I don't need to go in and buy the clothes. I just
But Jeremy and you are peas in a pod.
No,
I
we're
don't
not.
need to go to a charity shop.
That's a statement of fact, though.
I don't need you.
That's a statement. And Mary, you're right. You can go into Penny's or Dunn's or H&M, Adrian, and you can buy kids.
Oh, right, hang on, let me guess. She's too good for those stirring shops as well.
But sorry, this comes back to the conversation,
Kids'
Jeremy,
clothes
that
are
you
dirt
don't,
cheap.
that you
Dirt
don't,
cheap nowadays.
yeah, but you don't want hand-me-downs. That's the reason that you won't go into a charity shop. Let's call a spade here. That is the reason. And that's the snobbish attitude that
Yeah,
I'm
but Craig,
getting at.
let's be honest. You're having a go. I think that people are being very unfair to Mary here.
Yet in a patronising way, it's all right for the two of you, and I'm including you in this, by the way. It's all right for you to.
I'd rather you didn't, actually.
It's all right for you to donate your clothes to the charity shop.
Yes,
for the poor people.
And I donate all the second-hand toys to the charity shop as well.
For the poor people.
No, not for the poor people.
But you wouldn't grace the door yourself.
Mary, I have to
just dump a little black bag outside the door of the shop.
Mary, I have to be honest with you. I think you're getting an awful hard time on the show. I think Adrian is being very unfair to you. I think he should apologise to you.
Because you're the same as her?
Because
no,
the only thing you were doing,
won't be.
the only thing you're doing, Mary, is you're saying how a lot of people feel.
Hang on,
I'm sorry to yourself, Craig, who thinks that Mary is looking down their nose at you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Craig, it's people like yourself, and ordinary working class people, yeah, like yourself, yeah. Mm-hmm. Who spend thousands and thousands of euro on your kids at Christmas time. So, hypocrites much. You know what I mean?
Well,
he's not
is that the truth? You go into any toy shop, you go into Smith's Toys or Hamleys or anything like that 2 weeks before Christmas. And Adrian, you know this is true, so back me up on this. The people you see walking out of Smith's Toys and Hamleys with trolleys loads of stuff are normally the working class people, the people who don't have lots of money, because they spend buckets and buckets and buckets of money on their kids. So you're all hypocrites. Agreed?
Reese, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Reese?
Hi, how's it going?
Good, thank you, Reese. What did you want to say?
That Mary woman is an ignorant bitch.
Oh.
She doesn't have a clue what she's on about.
Well, no, she has a clue what she's on about.
Can I just say to you, Reese, Mary, hang on a second, Reese, shut up for a second. Mary hasn't...
Jesus Christ, don't tell me
No,
to
well, I will.
Sorry, hang on.
No, he's
You're
calling...
talking a lot of shite on the radio.
No, we are not. I'm not going to allow you to call
and
a woman...
I'm not going to let you tell one of our listeners to shut up, okay?
Sorry, Reese. Sorry, Reese. Mary has been on the air and hasn't called anybody any names, Reese. She hasn't used any language. The only people using language and calling her names are the people ringing in to give out about her. So can you at least show the woman a bit of respect? Thank you.
Well, in all fairness, like what she's talking about on the radio, it's a disgrace, so it is.
Do you shop in charity shops, Reese?
I do.
You do?
All my clothes are from charity. I've never bought any clothes from a shop.
Really?
Never have I.
And why is that?
Well, why not?
Because you can get it cheap, is that it?
Exactly.
And do you have you nice clothes?
I have lovely clothes.
Oh, there you are now, Mary. Mary, maybe you're missing out on something.
No, I'm not looking, like, this is the thing, I'm not looking down on him for buying charity shop clothes.
Mary, you don't have a clue.
It's a bad place to go. I just don't personally choose to go there.
You have a bad attitude, Mary.
How do I have a bad attitude?
You have a bad attitude about everything.
How?
How, Reese?
Absolutely everything.
How is she a bad attitude?
That's the way she's going on about charity clothes. It's a disgrace.
Okay,
I'm not saying anything is wrong.
Yeah, okay, Reese. That's brilliant. That's unbelievable.
Adele, you're on Dublin's 98 FM. How are you, Adele?
Hiya.
Adele, what do you want to say?
Well, I buy in charity shops and my mum buys in charity shops. We have no problem in buying anything out of them. They can be also brand new, brought into the shop with tags on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's never any big deal in buying out of charity shops. I can't believe Mary, the way her attitude is, it's just unreal.
Mary, I have to be honest with you. I am absolutely flooded with calls from people disgusted, not just at Mary, by the way, with Jeremy's attitude as well.
Jeremy didn't say anything.
You agree with every word the woman said.
All I said, sorry.
In fact, you said it before she ever opened her mouth.
What is with this snowflake attitude? And Stephen keeps texting and giving out about... Stephen, you're the very one that gives out about snowflakes and stuff like that. This is a snowflake attitude. People are entitled to have an opinion. And if everybody felt the way... if everybody felt the way the other callers do, yeah? If everybody felt the way you do, Adele, charity shops would be as packed as pennies. They're not. Because not everybody, it's not for everybody.
Okay, but let me read a message that's just come in.
Each to their own.
Could you ask them, would they buy an antique or go to an antiques fair? The antiques bought by the rich and second-hand or used goods. What's the difference?
I agree with you, Enda. As I said, the car boot sale that I was at the weekend, the people going to that car boot sale were by no means working-class people. They were upper-class, middle-class people going to the car boot sale. It's not a class issue. Just, it's for some people, it's not for other people. Ask her Katie, who's getting married, would she get married in a second-hand wedding dress? Ask her that. Go on.
And that's a completely different question.
No, it's not.
It absolutely is. There's a difference between a wedding dress. There's a difference between a wedding dress and a pair of trousers for a 2-year-old that's going to last them 3 weeks.
You can buy wedding dresses in second hand.
It's a completely different conversation.
No, it's not.
It absolutely is.
Well, Adele, you're coming down hard on Mary. Would you get married in a second-hand wedding dress that you bought in the charity shop?
If a second-hand wedding dress was in a charity shop, yes, I would buy it.
I don't believe that for one second.
No, I honestly would, because half my clothes at the moment on me right now are from charity shops, and people have said to me, oh my God, where did you get that? And when I tell them I bought them at a charity, I'm not ashamed to say that.
And they turn
around and they say, oh my God, that's gorgeous. What charity shop did you buy it in? I might go have a look. These are people that have their own businesses, have all their luxuries and whatever, can go into Arnott's, Brown Thomas's, all of them, and they'd still turn around and they'd say, oh, I must go to that charity shop that you said because I seen that lovely dress.
Adele, do you buy clothes from these shops out of financial necessity or by choice?
No, I work. I have a fantastic job, a job I love. I've no problem going into a charity shop. I've no problems going into Penny Stones, any of the other...
Okay, this conversation actually started from accepting hand-me-down clothes for children.
Yeah, which I also have.
You also have, yeah.
Yeah.
You see, this is where I want to drag this conversation back to where we started, about the snobbish attitude of, oh no, I wouldn't accept a pair of trousers from a young fella, even though he's only going to be wearing them for 12 weeks and won't know any different anyway. That's the bit I'm getting at. But I find that's just such a condescending,
but you're completely
attitude.
out of touch with the parents today. Adrian, you don't realise the snobbery among parents.
Can I tell you, 61% of our listeners said they have or would or did accept hand-me-down clothes.
61% of our listeners are being politically correct because they don't want to say how Mary feels. And Mary, I'm going to finish up with you. I do apologise for the way the listeners treated you. I apologise for the way Adrian treated you.
You deserved. And you. That attitude. That patronising, looking down, I'm greater than you, I'm rich, I don't need your charity. You said earlier on...
I'm not rich.
Excuse me for 1 second.
Calm down for a second.
You said earlier on,
calm down.
I don't need your charity. How patronising is that?
But I don't need charity.
Patronising. Stephen, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Stephen?
Well, I'm just replying to the snowflake comment you just made about me. It has nothing to do with being a snowflake. It has everything to do with being a snob.
But
I earn over 150 grand a year, and I take every handout that's given to me. I'll take any clothes, because my son and daughter go through clothes like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, but can I say, Stephen, that's a bit condescending, telling people how much you earn, that you earn a 6-figure salary.
No, well, hold on. The reason I'm saying it is because you're saying only a certain person does that. Far from it.
No, I didn't. No, Stephen, I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, Stephen. Stephen, I said only a couple of seconds ago all the people at the car boot sale were middle and upper class people. That's what I just said. Why are people hearing what I'm not saying?
So what's your argument then?
My argument.
Okay, hang on. I want to bring this conversation. I want you to tell me again why you will not accept hand-me-down clothes, which you've been offered, brand new clothes for your young fella. Tell me again why. Let me hear
Because it's not for me. That's it. That's all I have to say.
No, that's not a good enough answer.
Yes,
that's not a good enough. Because it's not for me.
Yeah.
Elaborate, please.
Well, ask Mary then why she won't accept them.
I'm asking you.
No, ask Mary.
I'm asking you. Mary's gone.
She's not. She's still on.
No, Adrian, let's phone this around. You'd rather buy clothes out of pennies for your children now. It's probably being made in a sweat factory.
Well, there's another argument.
That's we can't obviously verify where Penny's clothes are made, but certainly in some shops you can buy clothes that are made in a sweatshop. Yeah,
absolutely, for €2 and all that rubbish. They're not getting them from Debenhams and all that.
But Stephen, that's another argument. It's another topic for another day. Would it bother you to know that you'd bought clothes in a shop that had been made in a sweatshop somewhere in Malaysia? Would it bother you?
Of course it would.
I don't think it bothers anybody.
Yeah,
would you, Beauty? I don't think it does.
It does. Anyway, Stephen, thank you very much.
So hang on, Adrian. When you buy a shirt, or you buy a toy for a cousin or something like that,
do I think where it's been made?
And it says, I think the vast majority of you don't give a damn if something is made in a sweatshop or not. You look at a lot of clothes and toys that you buy in shops and it says on the back, made in Vietnam. Can I tell you, the chances are they've been made in a sweatshop. They've been made by staff that are getting paid well below the minimum wage. The majority of you don't care. When you're going into a kid's clothes shop, and you're buying 5 t-shirts for $5, why do you think they're only €5?
It is a conversation for another day.
No, but why do you think they're only €5?
Because they'll be made by cheap labour, not necessarily child labour.
No, I'm not saying child labour, but cheap labour.
Cheap labour,
for someone who's getting paid €1 a week or something like that. So you all need to sort of come down off your high horse because you're all guilty of fueling this.
So would you just answer the question, it's not for me, isn't a good enough answer?
I'm sorry, Adrian, that iPhone, let me just finish up. That iPhone that you have in your hand there, do you ever watch the documentary on BBC?
It's made in a big factory, Foxconn in China, yeah.
Yeah, have you seen the condition of the...
I have, yeah, and they've improved dramatically in the last
few
years.
Have they? Yeah. So it didn't bother you when you bought that iPhone that the person who made it made me working 60-hour days or whatever the case may be?
No.
Didn't bother you in the slightest.
This is 98fm's Dublin Talks.
The voice of the city.
98fm's Dublin Talks.
With Adrian Kennedy.
We're live every morning from 10 on 98.